Alexander, if he would please lead us in the pledge of the flag and a moment of silence.
Please stand. As we pause for a moment of silence, I ask that you focus on the safe return from Afghanistan of the sons of Mrs. Perkins and Mr. Trent. Thank you. Attention. Salute. Pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin with the regular meeting, I think we need to address an issue. It's been had a couple articles in the paper. Had some members of the community apparently worried, and some school board members worried about the election of the way we did the board chair and vice chairman. So I'd like to resolve this issue before we continue on with the meeting. So if anyone has a suggestion of how we can clear this matter up, I think that would be the time to do that now.
Ms. Brewer?
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I don't think it was the intent, just for the record, of this board to act in secret. We felt we were being in public, and that because it was conducted publicly, that it met the criteria. However, some of us were new, and some of us hadn't maybe been as familiar with every nuance. The nuance, as I understand it, that's in question is whether or not the ballots were individually attributable. For that reason, the minutes have not been entered nor approved. I think that with 5 of us here, we should be able to identify our handwriting and sign those, and then they are no longer secret. They are identifiably attributable. If the board would be comfortable with that, I would make a motion that we do that.
So you're saying that we would get our ballots, sign them, turn them in, have them read?
Then the vote was legal. It's just a matter of attributing to the board members who did them.
Okay.
So.
I would suggest, if no one objects, just to do a revote. And you can just vote in the manner that we did. Therefore, it would be public, and everything would be settled, and it would only take a minute or two.
I'm okay with that as well. I just think the vote we did was legal, and therefore it's just a matter of correcting. The minutes have not been entered. It's just a matter of the technicality that we did not enter our names attributable. So I think since those were recorded, in thinking that it would be consistent with what the law required, that they kept our ballots, they counted them in public, they counted them here. I just don't think people realized they needed to be identifiable to the voter. So since the minutes have not been entered or approved, I would believe that that is still an open item under the rules of the proceedings, but I'm fine with revoting verbally. If it would instill confidence in this board and the public, and that's the way you feel, I feel comfortable to revote in a system of ayes and nays. However, in the past, I know when you typically put in a chairperson, many of the boards I've functioned on, in order to make it easier for people to vote their conscience, they voted by ballot so that there wasn't as much of personal, since this involved the inner workings of the committee as a whole. That was typically why Robert's Rules of Order suggests it. That's in conflict, however, I think, with some of the provisions of the Sunshine Laws and the TCA codes, but it was a technicality rather than an actual infraction. At least I believe that was certainly not the intent. So either way is fine with me, but if the motion is not seconded, that's fine. We can take it up a different way. We are required, I think, though, to do something.
Yes, as far as a matter of public record and identifying who voted, if that's okay, that's just a pleasure of the board. I'm fine either way.
So do we have a, I'm sorry.
One more discussion item is just, I wanted to point out my rationale for signing that rather than a recall. We have a vote. The vote was taken, and I think that we were trying to honor what we agreed to that day. Revoting allows for change of heart and therefore change of the actual vote. That's okay, though. I am okay with revoting that. That's certainly within the purview of that, but I was trying to, I guess, make sure that we were true to what our intent was rather than revoting just on that, since it is technically not entered yet.
Actually, you brought up a good point. It's really reaffirming our
Exactly.
vote as opposed to revoting.
Yes.
So therefore, if like I say, I'm kind of on the fence with this. I will do what the pleasure of the board is, whatever is necessary to satisfy the public trust and move on with our business at hand.
You have any comments?
No,
We could-
that's what my husband said. It takes a voice vote. He gave me Tennessee law.
If you want, you may do a combination, and then we could read, that as well, if you feel like you need to do double.
I don't think it
whichever
really
you
matters.
want
I
to
want to
do.
be in compliance, and I want to put this issue behind us for the trust of the public. So I'm fine with a voice vote. I just simply wanted to point out that I think the vote we had was an accurate and legal vote. The technicality was not entered in the minutes yet because they have not yet been approved, and therefore we have not violated any problems at this point until those have been approved as minutes, because for all intents and purposes, those minutes are not finalized until this, according to Robert's Rules of Order, until we finalize them tonight. So once we finalize them, that then becomes an invalid vote, which makes this null and void according to the next section in Tennessee law. Therefore, we're kind of making ourselves have to nullify that and then redo. However you want to do it. I've got 'em.
I did notice that in our board policy, we elect a chairman and a vice chairman to serve a 2-year term. But state law says a 1-year term annually. And it didn't matter to me one way or the other. I just happened to catch that and thought, I don't know. I don't think it matters at this point. Well, it would, wouldn't it?
Well, what has been done typically in the past, Dr. Maynard are new at this, you're the three incumbents, has it typically been a 2-year term?
It has.
Yes, it has.
It has.
Well, I say let's take care of the matter at hand. So did you make a motion that,
I made a motion, but it was not seconded. I think
Okay.
she has had discussion. You didn't make. I don't think you can make a motion until we vote this one up or down. But it was never seconded, so it may die. So if there's no further discussion, that will die, and then her motion would come.
okay, I'm sorry, you guys are going to have to help me along.
We need a parliamentarian.
Yes, we do, and one that is thinking a little more clearer than I am. I apologize. Ms. Perkins, you're going to have to hold my hand through this. Well, so we have a motion on the floor to basically reaffirm the vote by signing our ballots. Can I get it? Is there a second?
Whatever. It doesn't matter to me at all.
Is that a
What's
second?
right?
Is that a second or not?
No, I didn't second.
Okay. Then that one dies. Yeah.
That one does. Okay.
So now I'll make the motion to proceed with a voice vote on the previous item.
Dr. May has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I am guessing that I'm not. Would we have Mr. Alexander do this, or how do we want to do this at this point?
Is there a motion on the floor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair.
Well, the motion was standing. It was the vote that was.
Yes, we need to do the vote. So can
But
I
if you
call
do
the
that,
vote?
that nomination will come.
But the nomination was never in question, only the vote.
Thank you. Okay.
Is that correct?
Correct.
So you were already nominated for chair, and Ms. Was that correct from the minutes? Ms.?
Correct. And when that was done by voice.
And Ms. Armstrong was voice. So there's no question about who was nominated. It was only the
Thank
vote, which is why I was thinking we just acknowledge who voted for whom, which I think is what we should do in good character here, just voice.
Since we have the motion and second, then are you going to proceed to a roll call vote on
That's
chairman?
correct.
Yes, if you would do that.
Armstrong,
No, but let's clarify this for me down here.
the motion on the floor at this
Right.
point is that Mrs. Brewer has been nominated as chairman for the board for this upcoming term. So you are either voting for or against her as the chairman.
I have a question. Since both of them were nominated, would we not still have both of those names and vote just as we would normally vote? Or like we
I
voted?
think that's why we did the
We're
ballot,
just doing the voice vote.
because we had two
And
options.
so we're just clarifying the votes that we have. So we would still, if Ms. Armstrong voted for herself, she'd say she
Yes.
voted for herself.
That was what we were trying
Yeah.
to do with the ballot vote.
Right. That's why we
Okay,
did a
well,
ballot.
that's why I
but-
said we're just doing the voice vote.
Yeah.
Which would clarify.
But a voice vote would be ayes or nays. So in this case, you'll need to state which person, I guess, if is
That's
that
right.
appropriate in
And that would
parliamentary
back
procedure?
up the ballots.
Is that?
Is everybody gonna like this?
I'm-
It's gonna
Yes.
make everybody
fine.
happy.
Let's just
Yeah, because
move
the
on.
votes already
Kids
been
need us to
tallied
do their
and
business.
everything,
so-
so
Okay,
there should be no difference.
so basically you're gonna just voice vote the person that you voted for?
Yes,
Is that what everybody?
yes,
Okay,
according to the way we voted,
Okay.
yes.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that time around, I voted for me.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
I voted for Ms. Brewer.
I voted for myself.
I voted for Ms. Armstrong.
And I voted for Ms. Brewer.
Right.
Okay. If we want to proceed, the two nominations were Mr. Isaacs and Ms. Baker. And again, Ms. Perkins, if you would do a roll call vote for us. Again, please name the person that you voted for. Okay.
I voted for Ms. Baker.
I voted for Mr. Isaacs, whom I nominated.
I voted for Mr. Isaacs.
I voted for myself.
And I voted for myself.
And everybody's good. I need to call a 5-minute recess. I'm very sorry. For those of you who don't know, I had surgery a week ago today. I was just dismissed from the hospital Friday. My doctor will not be happy that I'm here, but given the unrest and the fact that people were so upset about this, I felt it was necessary to come and get this cleared up. But I haven't had a pain pill in a while, and I want to go home and rest. So I want to wish you all Merry Christmas. I want to thank everyone for your good wishes during my surgery. And, you know, folks, we work for a wonderful school system, and I hope that over the holidays we can just take the time to remember why we do what we do, the trust that the public has given us, and continue to lead our school system. And so 5-minute recess. Mr. Isaacs, this is yours. I hope the meeting goes quickly and efficiently. Thank you all.
I hope you get to feeling better.
Thank you.
I didn't know you had surgery, I'm sorry. You take care.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope I didn't get you sick.
I'll call you. I'll play you back.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting back to order. We are now out of recess. Let's move on with our agenda. Everybody just have to kind of bear with me. I've kind of got the little creepy little sinus problem that a lot of the kids and a lot of parents have had here in the last little bit. So just kind of bear with me. Me and Miss Baker have our mints and our cough drops laying up here. So hopefully we won't have to use too many of them. I guess we need to move on to the third item on our agenda, which is time for citizens to speak. anyone would like to come before the board, now would be the time to do so.
Hi, I'm Sharon Lynch Skeens, 606 Beach Street, Elizabethton, Tennessee. There's been several things that I don't know if y'all have done y'all's walkthrough or not that was spoken at the last meeting, and things I've seen printed in the paper about the ball fields. All my kids play in sports, so if I'm wrong, please